Hello, and welcome to the Advent 7 podcast. I'm your host, Andrew, and I'm joined by...
Delicious Cake Tray.
What?
Delicious Cake Tray.
I'm not going to call you that, but cool. Well, yeah, Spencer? Hello?
I'm Spencer the Tired. Camping was tiring this weekend.
That's what you get.
I mean, I wanted to take that too, but we're talking about cake this episode.
On Labor Day weekend, man. Today, we are recapping episode 9 of My Teen Romantic Comedy SNAFU Climax. But first, plugs. First of all, thank you to everyone for tuning into our podcast today. It means a lot to us. If you've been keeping up with the show so far but haven't heard our previous recap podcasts, please check them out. There will be links in the description below. For all the latest news and content on anime, video games, and comics, please follow us on Twitter at Advent_7, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and check out more of our content at Advent7.com. With that out of the way, on to the podcast. Boys, what did you think about this episode?
It was sweet.
We've just kind of... I think the best way to put this is that we're just kind of in a holding pattern right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're just leveling out.
Trying to, I don't know, keep themselves above water, I guess.
Yeah. Well, you know, the pacing is a bit slower this season, so there's bound to be a bit of buffer room here and there. Right now...
Slower?
What?
You're saying it's slower? I would have said it was faster.
Well, I mean, like... So there's a lot of, like, smaller details and stuff that have been this season compared to last season. I feel like we've had more room this season to just focus on, like, the main topics at hand, which was like the prom and Yukino's problems. Those have kind of been the center point, whereas season 2 had several different arcs to it that we kind of like traveled through. But with this, like, the prom's kind of been the overhead issue for a while now. And even with last episode's like solution, if that's what you're going to call it, on the prom actually happening, in this episode 9, like, we still like haven't forgotten about it yet. Like, it's still happening. There's still details that need to be ironed out. So there's, I guess, like, saying that there's not as much happening isn't a good way to put it, but more like there's just more space in this season for smaller details. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, and this episode in particular was just kind of dealing with the fact that it's like, okay, the prom is going to be happening and our competition is quote unquote done. But now we're on to the part of the story is like, well, we still have more story to go here, but nothing is like actively pushing characters around, and it's more just everyone just kind of on autopilot, just trying to go along, just trying to make things work and feel all right when, well, it's not really all right.
Mm-hmm.
What? Everything's fine. Everything's totally fine.
Well, yeah, they're definitely pretending like it is.
Yeah.
So the first scene kicks off with Hachiman and Komachi. And Komachi, as usual, calls him out when she notices that clearly there's something wrong. And when she asks him if something happened, he actually says yes, something did happen. Like, he's just honest with her. And it throws her off. Because, you know, in season 2, when she asked him if something happened that time, he tried to pass it off. He's like, no, nothing happened. I mean, clearly he was angry at the time, but he tried to lie about it. This time he was just open. And she actually called him creepy for doing that, because we always gotta call him creepy at least once every episode.
Yeah, that's just become a requirement. It's just calling him creepy, even when it's not really creepy.
Yeah.
It's just
everything he does is creepy. He's creepy in essence.
Creepy incarnate.
He exists to be creepy, and that is all that matters.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it kind of caught Komachi off guard that he was actually admitting that something had happened.
Yeah.
And she wants an answer, but Hikigai is just like, I'll tell you when this is all over and past us.
Yeah.
Things are still progressing right now.
When it's all over after this season, I mean, after this issue is over. Totally not breaking the fourth wall here. But yeah.
But apparently they're working on some sort of surprise party. At least Komachi is.
Yeah.
She's gonna like surprise Hachiman after this is over. Just to reward him for all of his hard work, I guess. But yeah, so that scene doesn't last too long. That's kind of like the prelude to the episode, and then after that, after the opening, we go to the classroom, and it's Hachiman sitting, in his seat at the end of the day. Yui's still talking to the in crowd with Hayama and Yumiko and those guys, and he texts Yui, basically asking like if she wants to walk home together. But something I noticed was that he sighs before texting her. And it's just little things like that piss me off about him. Like, I have been majorly pissed at him because there's just all these obvious signs that he could be with Yui if he wanted to, but he clearly doesn't. So he treats it like a job. And
this is literally because he has to do a job. He has to fulfill her wish.
Just made me mad when he did that. I'm like, you could enjoy being with her. That's also a choice, but
his job is to fulfill whatever wish she desires. So he's just fulfilling his role.
Like a genie.
Well, as far as like texting her goes, like looking at it from Yui's perspective, she was annoyed with him. He's like, really, come on. It's like, I'm not going to say no to you to like come and talk and walk with you. Like, why can't you just come up to me and just say it? Why do you have to do this? And now I have to like back out of my other group right now.
It's 2020. Who the hell talks to people in person?
I mean, it's like 20.
Well, clearly we do. I mean, we're doing it right now.
But are we though? Are we really? Outside of this, when do you ever talk to a Spencer?
Ooh,
maybe Andrew talked to you.
Low blow. Plenty. Low blow. Nah, Spencer's busy. He's busy camping all the time. But yeah, so they leave school together. They talk for a bit. Yui reveals to Hachiman that she had talked with Yukino. That scene we saw at the end of last episode, and so Yui found out that the prom is definitely happening. As they're talking, Hikigaya stops by another drink machine and says, "Hey, can we talk for a moment?" So they kind of get into it for a bit. What do they talk about exactly?
He basically asks, "What are you going to wish for?" It's like it.
Yeah. He just tries to start picking her brain about like, okay, what do you want? What does Yuigahama want as your wish?
And then she starts listing off stuff.
Yeah. Instead of just coming up with one big thing, she just starts rambling off a lot of small little things that will obviously just kind of snowball as you start working with them all.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all more or less just about Hikigaya just being like, yeah, I'd like you to do this. I'd like you to do that. I'd like you to answer a little bit faster. I'd like you to give me a little more time to prepare when we're going to go out.
She just sort of tears him apart. She's like, I wish you were better at this. I wish you were better at this. He's like, whoa. You could be a little bit nicer about it.
Oh yeah, just to set the scene for everybody, they're at a park with swings. Yui's cutely swinging on the swing, and then she asks Hiki to sit next to her on the other swing, and he sits all the way across the park.
Motherfucker. Could have just sat there, but no, he sits on the rail like a lonely person.
Because he is a lonely person.
He doesn't have to be. That's the problem. That's my problem with him. He doesn't have to be, but he is right now. So, yeah, he doesn't actually sit next to her.
Yeah, he sits on just the railing around the little park area.
Mm-hmm. And as they're talking, Yui's mentioning all these things that they could do together and things that he could do better. He thinks about how easy it would be to just carry on talking to Yui like things are normal and avoid the heart of the matter. It would just be a lot more fun that way. But he acknowledges that would be betraying himself if he did that. So he decided not to drag things on and just came out with it and said, what is your wish? Whatever it is, like, I'll grant it for you. He also tells Yui that he lost the competition that they were having. And when he tells Yui about the competition, she actually says to him that he just arbitrarily decided he lost. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, she wasn't involved in the decision that settling the prom would settle the competition. So it seems arbitrary to her. She's been out of the loop on all this.
Yeah, she didn't really get any input. So, but regardless, he says, "Yep, I lost. I totally lost. So, just let me grant your wish. What is it?" And what does she say?
It's like, I want you to fulfill all my wishes, and then I want to fulfill yours. And I get this laugh maniacally because, like I said, this is just going to be a fucking circle.
Yep. She's like, I want to grant your wish, to grant my wish, to grant Yukino's wish, to grant my wish, to grant your wish. It's just constantly going in circles. They're stuck in this loop and they need to break out of it somehow.
Yui is a very greedy person. She's given a wish and she asks the genie, "Can I have more wishes?"
He's
and
like,
it can say on the wishing for more wishes.
If it's in his abilities, he'll do it.
Yeah.
Which pisses her off when he says that, because Yui's like, you always do this. You always put yourself in harm's way just to make impossible things happen. I want you to work on that too. Add that to the list of wishes. But yeah, like, she mentions that she wants to keep helping Yukino with prom. She wants to throw a party for Komachi. And as she longingly looks at a passerby couple, she says to Hikigaya, "Yeah, I want to grant your wish." So that was just a hard moment, because in that moment you're like, okay, we're going to keep dragging this out. We got 4 more episodes left, but let's drag it out. And then cut to the next scene.
Well, before we go on to that, the other thing that I want to point out is that he's not drinking the Max coffee.
Yeah, he's drinking
They have a whole
black
scene where
coffee.
it just kind of hangs on the coffee can. It's like it's a completely different can of coffee than what he's been drinking this entire season. So I kind of think that is supposed to be like a metaphor for just his mood on the whole subject.
He's just
Better the machine didn't have any.
I mean, yeah, that's probably what really happened, but we're gonna go with the he's not in a great mood.
Yeah.
He probably just wouldn't drink coffee at all if there was no Max cans, to be honest.
He needs coffee to survive. He doesn't function without coffee.
Fair. Yeah, they cut to the next scene, and it's morning. Hachiman shows up, goes to his locker, and Yumiko's already there. And she basically calls him out and warns him not to, quote-unquote, half-ass anything with Yui. Because she notices that they've been hanging out, and she knows that he is Yui's friend. But it's funny how she just kind of has a sixth sense. She's not even present in a lot of this. She's not even there, but she just could kind of tell that Hachiman was half-assing things, or he potentially was going to.
As far as her being able to read Yui when she is around in her group, she can kind of tell just like her small little facial shifts. Like when Hikigaya had texted her in the classroom the other day, she had noticed is like, okay, I see what's going on here.
Mm-hmm.
And then just the next morning, she confronted him, just like, yo, don't hurt her. Like, I am her friend as much as previous seasons may have said. Just like, they are still friends, especially better now. So after all the things that they've gone through, so don't screw this up.
Yeah. Because as things are going right now, he's definitely going to screw this up.
Mm-hmm.
But she walks off, and then Yui shows up, and she greets Hachiman with a Yahalo. She goes back to Yahalo.
Yahalo, Yahalo.
Yeah.
The Yahalos have returned.
It makes me worried.
Maybe someone found a way to stop the water from rushing in, Andrew. The ship might survive.
Oh man, I'm not going to get my hopes up. The hole in this ship is pretty big right now. Like sure enough, there's lifeboats all around and it's not sinking as fast anymore, but I'm very skeptical. Let's put it that way.
Don't worry, man. You just need a little bit of Flex Seal. Just slap it on there. It's like, there, all good.
Oh!
We don't have any. We're all out.
That's what you think?
It's like, and if we are, we just use duct tape. Solves all problems.
I'm pretty sure that's the avoiding the matter at hand thing that Hachiman was talking about. That's basically duct taping the hole shut. Is like, this ain't gonna work, man.
Yeah.
She says Yahalo to him, and as they're walking through the hall, they run into Iraha and Yukino. It is probably one of the more awkward conversations of this whole series. I had a hard time sitting through it, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a case of, again, Iraha can see the oncoming train trying to kind of work things along. It's like, oh yeah, you can come and help tomorrow. It's like, but Yukino is just kind of shooting her down. It's like, no, it's like, we have plenty of manpower. We don't need any more people. It's like, but it's going to be difficult for us to actually get this done. It's like, no, I think that we can still do this. Like, Yukino is still very much trying to keep them away and just make this her own thing as much as she possibly can.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Yui just clings once again.
Oh man, she glomps onto Yukino. That was also very awkward. I was like, oh no, she's pretending like everything's totally normal. She's trying to force it.
She's not pretending. She just wants what she wants, and what she wants is them to be together.
It's true.
But Iraha just says it just outright. It's like, okay, guys, I'm not an interpreter for you two. That's not how this is going to work.
I actually didn't notice my first watch through with the episode that they were basically talking to her, not to each other face to face.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, extra awkward. But Yukino, she shoots down Iraha's suggestions at getting some extra help, and she walks off first, and then Iraha just quietly says to Hachiman, like, I hope you'll help us on prom day.
And Hachiman's just like, I'll help if I'm free. And Iraha's just like,
you're always free.
Just say, okay, I'll help. Just, you're always free. Just shut up and help.
Yeah. So you always say you'll help when you're free, and you're always fucking free, so don't pretend like you ain't gonna do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, just walks off, just constantly feelings like this. You guys are all so difficult, please. Like, I like you guys and all, but you're all so difficult.
Iraha is just always going to be the best character in this show, man, because she's actually straightforward about it. She's the only straightforward character. It blows my mind.
Iraha is, in fact, the best character.
So yeah,
and then immediately following that, we get Yui saying, "Hey, come to my house and help me make a cake for Komachi." Right? He's like, "Oh, all right then. If that's what we're gonna do, sure."
Like, he told her no at first.
Another thing that pissed me off. He told her no. First she asks him, "Are you free on Saturday?" And he says the usual typical line, "Yeah, I'm always free." And she says, "Great, why don't you come over to my place Saturday?" And he's like, "Nope."
Because I'm free.
Well, you motherfucker.
Sometimes people just want to be alone, Andrew.
You know that's not what's going on here.
Yeah, I know.
He, what strikes me as odd is that he doesn't want to be there because of Yui's mom.
Yeah.
Like, there's something about Yui's mom that really like puts him off or frightens him. I'm not sure what it is.
It's because she's happy and bubbly. She's not a mom. She's like she's just a slightly older Yui.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, she just looks like an older...
she's older Yui.
Maybe that's really what it is, because I remember in a couple episodes ago or so, I think it's episode 6, when he's at the internet cafe with Yui and they're planning out their potential prom. She shows in the picture of Yui with her mom, and he's like, "Oh my god, lewd." Totally lewd, because he sees her mom in a swimsuit. So maybe that's also
sarcasm.
Maybe that's what's going on here. I don't know.
I think that was just sarcasm, him being a troll.
Also possible. But yeah, he goes anyways.
As you would expect, they get to their house, and as they sit down at the table, Yui's mom just ambushes them from behind. It's like, "Hi guys, how's it going?" Mm-hmm. It's like, "Ah."
Yeah.
It's like, "Mom, we'll call you when we need you."
Yeah, Yui tries to push her out, but Hachiman says, like, "Well, hold up, we probably could use her help, actually." So, Yui's mom, like, she's ecstatic about that. She suggests to them that they try making something exquisite. Something made from scratch that's exquisite. And the more that she's, like, shooting them ideas, the more you kind of realize, oh, she was planning this. Like, she already was planning on having them do something as soon as Hachiman came over.
So, clearly.
So she actually asks Hachiman, "What do you think would be exquisite?" She wants to know his opinion. And he suggests, maybe something that I can brag to the other moms in the neighborhood about that my daughter made.
It's like, you thought of it like a housewife?
Yeah, and I mean, like, he hit the nail on the head. That's totally what she was doing. Yui's mom tells him to watch it, but we all know.
Hey, now.
So they decide to make fruit tarts. That's what Yui's mom suggests, and they go to the store. So how does that go? They go to the store, they buy stuff.
Well,
there was they were referencing Instagram when they did that. That was great.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Instagram. But yeah, no, they go. They're looking for fruits, and I guess Yui just kind of turns on airhead mode. And he's like, let's get this fruit. It's like, nope, that one's out of season. How about this fruit? Nope, that one's out of season as well. Hiki, you like peanuts? Let's get peanuts. Like, we're talking about fruits here. Fruits. And so it's really just
peanuts are a kind of fruit.
Bullshit.
It's like botanically speaking.
Botanically, I'm not gonna accept that answer.
You're probably right.
Yui's mom is just saying, like, nope, all this stuff is out of season. We can't do any of this.
That's why we'll use cans.
It really boils down to a comedy bit, just lightening the mood, so to speak. But then Yui's mom gives like a little
soliloquy,
just being like, yes, it's like the fruit coming in season. You'll remember this season in the future when you're making stuff as well. It's like, maybe, I don't know.
Mama Gahama just got very poetic all of a sudden. She
just got poetic and deep all of a sudden. It's just like, okay, wasn't expecting that.
Very out of left field.
Yeah.
She's trying to hook her daughter up. That's what she's trying to do.
Totally fucking.
Oh yeah, clearly.
Like, the whole time that Hachima's interacting with Yui's mom, I'm just like, man, she is playing this game so well. Like, she's dropping all these subtle little hints. She's also keeping her eye on him. Like, she's dropping
Mama Gahama knows what's up.
I don't trust her 100%, but that's because she's clearly very good at what she does, which is trying to hook up her daughter. So,
but past that, we continue on with the hijinks and actually start making the fruit tarts, and it turns out really, really good. Like, it looks delicious, like all anime food does. And it makes me sad that I can't have this in the real world.
I mean, if we go to a fancy restaurant, they'll make it close.
A fancy restaurant, but it just looks all so good.
It does. It really does. And then she adds,
wish
and
that I had
then
great
Yui adds some
milk.
chocolate. Chocolate!
Yeah, the chocolate, which just suddenly just takes the sweet to the next level, just makes the fruit tart all that much better. All of a sudden.
Well, the way
Yeah.
she did it wasn't right, but
Yeah,
Mama
Yui's
Gahama always has a plan.
Shove a chunk of chocolate in with the rest of the fruit, and it's like, this isn't so great. But her mom, she's just like, no. It's like you have to melt it and then paint it into the bottom of the tart, and then put everything on top, and then it's got an even chocolatey coating.
And then you put it in your face.
And then you put it in your face, and just yum.
Thinking about it makes me so fucking hungry. Seriously, Japanese sweets are just amazing. Everything food wise that Japanese people make is just, it aesthetically is perfect, and it's also just really tasty.
And now we've reached my favorite part, the discussion of the secret ingredient. I believe it's something delicious or addictive.
You were
I
gonna
don't know
say
which.
cocaine.
Yes, but I was trying to get us not demonetized. Congratulations, Andrew.
That's okay. We're not getting monetized for this either way. It's an anime podcast.
Yeah, no, it's like just whisper,
Sweet white powder.
Like, yes,
called
the
sugar.
secret ingredient is this. Cue blushing Yui. He's like, oh dear.
Well, yeah. So her mom asks Hikigaya, like, what would you say the secret ingredient is? And after a bunch of quote unquote wrong answers that Hikigaya gives to try and dodge the question, he gets reeled back in. So he finally says, devotion, I suppose. And her mom is satisfied with that answer. She's like, bingo. Because that's what she's gunning
Bingo.
for. She wants this dumbass to devote himself to Yui, which he should do, but he's not going to.
Mom's just saying, it's like, do it, date my daughter, date my daughter. I know you want to.
Pretty much.
The answer is nobody ends up with anyone. Everyone ends up sad and alone. The end.
They're all
Well,
going.
that's just a sad way to end this all.
You guys.
Dang.
I mean, it would be a snafu.
He's gonna end up with the teacher.
No,
It's like she's moving
out.
away.
Get
We'll
out of
never
the
find her
podcast.
again.
Get out of this podcast right now.
But I'm the host. Come on, ramen date. We all know that's where this is going. I watched the
They're never
entire
gonna get
3
that ramen
seasons
date.
just for a ramen date. I'll take it. And I will take at least that much, okay? I deserve something.
They're not going to get it.
I'm not getting the Yui route here, so I need something to get by.
You get nothing. We get nothing. Once again, this is the snafu, and thus everything will end up terribly.
Anyways, so Yui walks Hikigaya home after they're done baking together, and Hikigaya reveals that he actually ate those cookies from the end of season 2. Finally, they were probably stale as hell.
Yeah, after sitting in his desk drawer for who knows how long.
It's like, dude, I'm pretty sure he says, yeah, they were really good, and then he gives her a gift to make up for it. I guess he made something too, but
Yeah.
that's bullshit. It couldn't have been good. Those cookies were in his desk for a while. Not even thinking about the 5-year gap for us between him getting that cookies and eating it.
I mean, those cookies could have been they could have been fine. It's like cookies, unless she gave them fresh bake, which I know she didn't. They were probably at the point where they were naturally going to be just crispy and crumbly
She
when you ate them.
just bought them.
She didn't buy them. You know she didn't.
I mean, it's debatable. I have a hard time believing that Yui's cooking skills have gotten that good. But
She really. That's her whole character arc. It's making food.
her entire character arc is just struggling to make cookies and fruit tarts. Not a bad character arc, actually.
I
It's
can
pretty
now
fitting.
cook. I will not starve, but all you can make is sugar. Doesn't matter.
It tastes good. It's all that counts. So yeah, no, he gives her that gift. It's actually a pretty sweet moment. It's a genuine moment that he decides to do out of his own volition. So I enjoyed that. Doesn't make up for the swing set, but I'll take what I can get.
And as they're walking down the street after giving her that present, he just kind of ruminates to himself. He's like, if only I could continue living out my days like this, just granting each one of her wishes just one at a time. Just like kind of coasting along and just feeling good about everything. But we know that that's not going to be how this can work out.
Yep.
Leading into our next theme, the perfect representation of the passage of time. Graduation.
Yeah, we just had a time skip, basically.
Probably like
Not
a couple
really.
weeks. Couple weeks.
Were they really that close?
Yeah.
Huh.
Once again, season 2 ended not too long after Valentine's Day, so somewhere in February.
God, it's so
And
hard to
all
keep
of the
track of time in this show.
And somewhere in season 3 technically takes place mostly end of February, start of March, and graduation's like the start of April. So a couple weeks. We jumped ahead by a couple weeks, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Well, still, it's a time skip, and so we go forward to the graduation, and they're sending off the third years. So our main cast, they're all just sitting in the crowd. Iraha gives her send-off speech because she's the president. And then who comes up after her to give a speech? Somebody else also gives a speech during that scene.
The previous class president.
Do you remember her name?
I don't.
Trying to remember myself.
I wouldn't blame you for not being able to recall this person's name off the top of your head. It's not like we have seen her that much in this entire series.
Yeah, because she was just around for around season 1. She was part of like the
season
culture.
1. She technically was there for season 2 because she introduced Iraha, but that's about it.
Yeah, so her name is Meguri. And,
that's what it was.
And her primary role in season 2 was introducing Iraha and explaining to the service club how they needed to find a way to get Iraha out of the running for class president because the whole setup basically. But Meguri was the current president at the time. So that was kind of her biggest role. And we only saw her a couple times in season 2 outside of that. So it's been a while. She has not been very relevant as of late. So as soon as I saw her again, I'm like, holy shit, it's her again. Trey's like, who the fuck is this? I had to explain to him it's the prior class president. He's like, who? So
yeah, I couldn't remember her name at the time, but I remember her from the earlier seasons once I saw her.
I would not blame anybody for not remembering this person. I'm surprised I remember this person.
So you got to insert the Snoop Dogg meme. Who?
But yeah, she gives this really nice speech, and she references the cultural festival they had in first season. Hikigaya is crying.
Like a bitch.
Which, I mean, even Hayato and Totsuka are surprised. They're like, you're actually crying? Why?
Like, damn, dude.
This
was unexpected.
It's kind of out of character for him.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that he'd be that emotional because, like, he didn't really have a big investment in the cultural festival itself or any other school events. He only helped out a lot with the festival because that was his job.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's just super emotional about it. Meguri even recites part of the cultural festival like speech she gave where she mentions the sing a song.
Yeah.
Like it was the theme of the school festival, which was really shitty.
Made me really cringe. I'm like, it's still a terrible name for a festival.
But they got a call and response, and that's all that matters.
I guess so. It got everybody else in the crowd up and going.
Are you all culturing?
No!
Culturing.
I'm not culturing. God. Don't say that word.
Gosh.
So, it's like chief of specialties, dance and festivals. When in Rome, dance like the Romans.
Oh, jeez.
Sing a song.
After that, it's Meguri just kind of seeing them off. Mm-hmm. She's saying bye to Yui, Hikigaya, and Iraha, and just saying, I'll see you at the prom.
It's like I really wanted to be. I never thought I was going to graduate. So, guys, this actually is a segue for an off-topic discussion about what do you guys remember from high school graduation, or even you two college graduation? Your feelings from those times.
Alex.
I
Alex
remember my high school graduation more personally.
I'll let Spencer go first.
Yeah, I remember my high school graduation more than my college graduation. College graduation was just like I'm in a big stadium with a whole bunch of other people and just being bored out of my mind because the procession is just really, 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 really long. There's just too many people. It's like, God, please.
Yeah.
But high school graduation was fun. You had the whole thing where we had like a projector showing all the graduating student class just one by one, kind of showing pictures of each person throughout the years, and then also like where they're going to go off to college and what their planned major was going to be and that sort of thing. Kind of giving out flowers to parents and loved ones and whatnot. And then also just like the little speeches from the like the student council people, as well as valedictorian, all that sort of thing. So pretty average fare, but I remember two things. I remember one, that my family managed to get like the front row of the like the seating. So it was like I saw all, like my immediate family plus a couple of my extended family just right up front. I'm just like, damn, you guys got here early to get all that. And then I also remember one of my friends, she was she like class representative or something like that? But she just told, as part of like her speech, she's just like, oh yeah, we have all these memories, whether it be this or this, or whether it be Spencer snuggling a chicken nugget in the 6th grade. I'm just like, oh god damn it, I'm going to kill you for this one. It's like I always thought that I would live it down somehow, but I'm never going to live it down. And it stayed with me all the way to graduation, and she announced it to the entire small town, because like it's small town high school graduation. There's like lots of people there, so it's like, damn it.
Yeah. This is
I was
the
laughing my butt off at that point because I've gotten used to her just using that as like a poking point with me. It's like a running joke, but I'm just like, you had to do it. I should have known.
Yeah, dude, that's definitely one of the fun parts of going to a smaller school. So yeah, and I remember when I went to go see your younger sister's high school graduation with you. It was really nice. Yeah, you're right. It is really nice, and just having most of the townspeople there. Yeah, you guys go through that whole like career path route, basically, where it shows pictures of all the students and like what they plan to do after high school. Mine did not do that.
Yeah.
So no, yours was a lot more, I don't know what the word for it would be, but
intimate.
I was going to say quaint. But I guess probably a better word would be like, just heartwarming, you know? Yeah. Your high school thing was heartwarming.
Our average graduating classes are only somewhere around in like the 40s, give or take a few people. Whereas your guys, I think, that's like in the hundreds or something.
Yeah. I don't even remember how many kids were in my graduating class, but if I had to guess, I'd say probably around like 700.
Damn.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
Mine was about 430 or so.
Yeah. I mean, it probably was lower than that. But I went to one of the larger public high schools like in my town that most kids went to. Like you either went to the east side or west side in my area, and I went to west. So, my high school graduation ceremony, though, I remember that morning started off with Alex fucking smashed from having drunk himself into an early grave the night before at a rock concert with his older sister. And so he shows up the next morning and he's missing his hat. His gown is like shoved into his pants. And he doesn't even have his tassel either. And I
my
look at him,
God.
I'm like, dude, what happened? And he's like, oh man, you should have been there last time, man. It was so much fun. Like, he was barely present. And so I had to help him get set up. We did find his hat, but his tassel was nowhere to be found. So I had to run down. Okay, so the whole student body were divided up into sections waiting to get called down to the gymnasium. So I remember my section was inside my old English classroom, and we were like one of the last sections to get called down because we're at the end of the alphabet. So we were not allowed to leave the classrooms until we were called out by a staff member. But I had to sneak out of my section room, run down to the auditorium or / gymnasium where my parents were waiting, found my parents, said, I need you guys to give me the spare tassel because Alex lost his. And they're like, what happened? I'm like, he got super drunk. I don't know. It's probably nowhere in the school. He probably left it at home. So they give me my spare, and I run back up and gave it to him. And he lost it again by the end of the day.
Oh my God.
So yeah, that's in gist how my day went for the ceremony. Not a lot else happened besides, you walk up to the stage, get your diploma, you walk off, you shake hands with the principal. I took pictures with Drew. He didn't even have, Drew had like long hair back then. It was weird. I didn't have glasses back then either. So all my pictures, I look back at them now, I'm like, I barely recognize myself.
Yeah. Like, everything that you just described would not have been able, you wouldn't have been able to get away with any of that at my school just because of how small it is. Like, if anything was going to like go wrong, or if you had like any grounds to make the administration think that you were going to screw something up, you would not be allowed to do the walk up to the graduation seating, because for us at a small school, it's kind of like a little like kind of like festivity, I guess you could say, where you're able to just walk up the center aisle, and just you and 2 other people are able to just kind of do whatever you want, like kind of dance up to the podium, and just like wear like sunglasses or a hat or something, just being like, oh yeah, woohoo, woohoo. Like, from what I've seen of like my cousin's graduations, that's not a thing. And you would not be allowed to do any of that kind of walk or participate in the graduation ceremony. If you showed up like drunk or anything, like, you lost that right. And if you screwed up anything during the graduation, like if you did anything like stupidly disruptive, when you actually go up to the podium for us, and they hand you like the little flip book that contains your diploma, that does not actually contain your diploma yet.
Ooh.
Like your diploma is not in there when you're actually on the graduation stage up by the podium.
Okay.
Like, you'll get like the actual slip of paper for your diploma after the ceremony and everything.
That's smart.
But you'll still like have like the little booklet, so like you can take pictures and all that while you're up there. But the actual physical diploma that says you have graduated, they hold that hostage until everything is done. And so it's like, okay, everything's done now. You were good. Now you can have this. Go have fun.
But
Yep, that's
until
exactly
that
what happened at
moment-
mine.
Yeah, go ahead, Trey.
Yeah, it's like mine had did the exact same thing that Spencer did. It's like they spelled it out for us real clearly. You guys fuck around, you ain't getting your diploma. It's just like, well, fuck. But you guys talked about the actual ceremony. I kind of wanted to hear some stories about your feelings about graduating from school, because I know I was emotional as hell. A lot of emotions. The former president in the show, she pointed out something that I resonated with: the idea of not graduating. Not that I felt like I was gonna fail. At one point I did back in early high school. I was doing really bad in school, but just the thought of graduating, it always seemed like such a far off thing. Like, it was never going to come. Me personally, I don't think I was ever excited to graduate, because I knew I was out of my depth going into the real world. And there was a lot of things I did that my senior year that I held on to really well. It's like I cried at least 3 times that school year, but for different reasons as we were getting towards the end. And that the graduation day I had, it's like I had most of my mom's side of the family and my grandma, who I just reconnected with over in recent years, being able to come down to see me walk the stage and graduate. It's like I'm not a religious person, but on that day, on the drive up to the Pinnacle Bake Arena, I kind of just gave a silent prayer and thank you to God for getting me through everything.
Nice.
Yeah, for me, it was definitely, I didn't, like, I probably shed a tear or two, like when we were allowed to walk around and give loved ones flowers and stuff for during our ceremony and stuff. So like I had that little moment, but I think I held on pretty strong. But like the feeling of I've graduated high school and I'm now going on to something else, I think that really hit me like a sack of bricks when I got in my car after the ceremony to drive home back to my house where we were having the graduation party. And it was around then that I suddenly was just like, oh, okay, this is a new feeling.
It just hits you. You're like, oh,
it just hits you all at once, man.
Yeah.
And I had that same feeling after college graduation as well. I'm just like, I know I've got a job and everything already lined up, and I'm going to do that, but it's like, I'm not going to be in academics anymore. I'm going to be actually off doing stuff. And I didn't get over that feeling until like, I don't know, like 6 or like a good like 6 months into my job here that I got after college. Like after I'd gotten over like the what's the word? The imposter syndrome for like actually working at my job at a company. I'm just like, oh man, like why am I here? It's like, am I actually going to be able to do this job? It's like, it wasn't for like 6 months until I finally got over that
sounds about
feeling
right.
And actually kind of got on with the rest of my life. I'm just like, oh man, it sticks with you for a while, transitioning between big life-changing events.
Like going to any new job, it definitely takes time for you to kind of warm up and feel like you're supposed to be there.
Yeah.
I've been in 2 different jobs since I graduated college 2 years ago. So yeah, I'm definitely very well aware of that feeling.
And there's still some days that I wish that I was like back in school, like for whatever like emotional, sentimental reasons. Like I wish I was back in this, if nothing more than just like a feeling of that times are simpler sort of situation. Like I do end up getting that feeling of missing that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I fell asleep during my high school ceremony, by the way.
Of course you did.
Just putting that out there. I could not wait to get out of high school. Personally, like I think I just kind of dicked around during my last year of school. Like I was a basketball mascot for 3 games. I didn't even get a letter jacket for it. I just did it because it was fun. You know, I read comic books during my English AP class and somehow still got a B+. I like when high school ended, and I remember like leaving the school and I was on my way to a graduation party because I told my parents I didn't want a high school graduation party. Like they were insisting on it, and I said, look, I know a dozen other parties people are holding. To me, this isn't a big deal. It's just high school. You know, let's save the party until college. You know, save your money, and when I actually graduate college, then we can hold a big party. Because to me, that was really the big thing. That was actually something that I wasn't sure if I would get there or not. But high school, like, I just kind of skated through that, basically. which I don't know if that was for better or worse. I'm not saying that was a good thing. I wouldn't recommend it to other people, but I got decent enough grades. English and arts were the only things that I really excelled at, that I cared about. Yeah, like I went to parties. I got a bunch of free food. And that summer after I graduated was probably the best summer vacation I ever had, because I had like a bunch of parties at my parents' house that summer. Not graduation related, but just having friends over and doing dumb stuff. I watched a lot of anime that summer. I remember that. That probably was the big summer where I did the deep dive into weeb territory. And as for college graduation, if we wanted to touch on that, I just want to say that I hated the ceremony because, like Spencer said, it was so boring. It went on super long.
I understand just how boring it was. I sat through two of them. Like, I sat through my own, and then I sat through yours.
That's right. You did. I remember you showed up for that.
I was I think my cousin also graduated during that ceremony as well.
Yeah,
so
that's also why you were there.
Yeah, it was a 2-for-1.
Being there at the ceremony, I regretted not just having them mail me the certificate. So, no, I've never really got that emotionally invested in either of my graduation ceremonies. And the latter of which, I really didn't feel like I was even in college for my last whole year, because I was only taking a couple classes during my last year to fill out the requirements. And I had already been interning full time at a company while I was a student for the last year. So I knew that I was going to transition out of that internship into a full-time position at that same company as soon as I graduated, and nothing was really going to change for me there. Like, I was already used to the company. I knew everybody there. I knew how to do my job. So I kind of already felt like I was done with college before I even got the degree. So, but it's different for everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyways, getting back on track, what was, I guess, what was your guys' closing thoughts overall on the episode? How'd you feel? I know we said that at the beginning, but I just want to recap again, what your thoughts are about this episode and where you think things are going to go in the next episode.
Next episode, it looks like we're gonna be getting into
more prom planning.
I think it was it a dress rehearsal for the prom?
It kind of looked like it was.
Yeah.
There were shots of food on the table and stuff, and I think Yukino's mom was there.
Yeah.
So it definitely looks like it must be some kind of practice prom or a dress rehearsal.
Yeah, it's a dress rehearsal.
So that makes me wonder where it's going to take place. Like, is the next episode going to take place soon after, or are we going to have a big time skip between?
No, because the graduation has happened. Like the prom is a thank you send off for the graduates. So this is going to be happening super.
No,
soon.
this is for not. It's not for this graduating class. It's for Hikigaya's graduating class. So they have until next March.
Wait, what are you talking about?
That was the whole plan for this prom. It was to get Hikigaya's class to have the prom ready for Hikigaya's class.
No.
Yes.
No, this prom is for the graduating class here.
Well, that's kind of been something that we've been trying to figure out for a while now. I was under the impression that the prom that they were planning, like right now, they were still stuck in the planning phases, and nothing was really going to solidify until it was time for Hikigaya's class to graduate. Which is
how long do you guys think it takes to plan a prom?
I mean, based on how this show's been doing it, 10 years.
No.
Well, it's like
no. From what I've seen, this is a prom for the current graduating class. The whole thing with Iroha wanting to have the prom now was so that she can get the idea of a prom up and running while she still has our main characters around to actually help out. Because when third year comes around, they're not going to have the same amount of time to actually commit to this.
So back when Hikigaya enlists the help of the gamer club, he's trying to convince them to help out with this like fake out prom. And what he basically tells them is like, think of it this way. You're getting a whole extra year of time to like jump in on this and get a head start on planning the prom for next year. So you'll get to dictate how you guys want to do stuff. And when they ask him, by next year, do you mean like next school year? And he says, yeah, next school year. So that was what gave me the impression that this prom was not going to happen for the graduating class currently, but for the next graduating class, which was Hikigaya's class.
No.
Maybe there's some kind of translation error or some just the way they worded things, the context didn't come across correctly. Maybe it really is meant to be a prom for the current graduating class.
Yeah, no, I've always took this as just getting the prom idea off the ground, so that way the following years, like, they can actually continue doing it. So that way they don't have this great big hurdle that needs to be crossed.
They don't have to deal with the PTO again.
Yeah. Like, this is basically the proving grounds.
Okay, well, we'll see. Either way, it seems like they're definitely going to have a dress rehearsal prom in the next episode, because the characters are all there, but they're wearing their school uniforms still. So it's not the real thing. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got 3 episodes left, boys. Yeah, I honestly can't tell where things are going to go. I have no idea what's going to end up happening. I could go the easy route and say, oh yeah, Hikiga and Yukino are going to hook up with each other. But I like the polygamy route better. I like the teacher route better. I like pretty much any other route. And that's what I'm going to cross my fingers for, even though I know it's not going to happen.
Once again, there's also the nothing route, the SNAFU route.
Nobody wins.
Yeah, right.
That'd be
That'd be awful.
That's what we call the bad ending.
That would be the bad ending, actually.
That would be the bad ending.
Maybe they'll school days us.
Well, let's not go that far.
That's a terrible ending. It's like, that's not a bad ending. That's a terrible ending.
Okay, maybe not that far. But anyways, okay. Well, then,
right.
Was there anything else we didn't cover? Anything left you guys wanted to talk about that we didn't mention yet?
No, that pretty much says everything that I was thinking of. This is kind of a connecting episode.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, then, I guess we'll just move on to the outro. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune into our podcast today. I'm Andrew.
I'm Trey.
And I'm Spencer.
And please check out our previous podcasts. We do this every week, where we recap each episode of SNAFU as they come out. Please subscribe to us on Twitter at Advent_7. Subscribe to us on YouTube, and let us know in the comments below what you thought of this episode and if there's anything we didn't cover today. Thank you for listening. Have a great night, and we will see you all next time. Yagabai.
Yagabai.
Yagabai. Who wants chocolate cake?
Oh, chocolate cake sounds wonderful.